Well, we haven't heard that theme song in a long time, but that must mean that Michael Snyder is standing by in Hollywood to tell us about the movies in Hollywood that they're not making. Hello, Michael.
Hey, Alex, and we are talking about movies that are being made and released, or were made and being released. It's been a couple weeks. We got some new stuff for the weekend and also a little bit of catch-up, but not much. Let's kick off with Enola Holmes, which is one of the more entertaining and effervescent adventure comedies I've seen in a while. It stars the very appealing young British actress Millie Bobby Brown. The girl sounds like she comes from the deep south with a name like that, but in fact, no, she's from the UK, and she was, if you don't know, the breakout performer on the Netflix fantasy series Stranger Things, where she's the psychically powered heroine 11, and now at the age of 16, Brown is playing the title character in Enola Holmes, which is currently available on Netflix, so you can watch it at Holmes. Oh, sorry. Anyway, this is a star-making turn for Brown. It's an exuberant, smart, family-friendly action movie about Master Detective Sherlock Holmes' little sister Enola, who is determined to follow in her brother's footsteps. Brown has really experienced support from Henry Cavill. That's right, Superman from Man of Steel and Justice League, the guy from The Witcher. He's playing Sherlock. Sam Claflin from Peaky Blinders is the stuffy older brother Mycroft Holmes. And the prodigious Helena Bonham Carter, from The Crown, The King's Speech, so many films. She plays free-spirited Eudora, who is the widowed matriarch of the Holmes family and who goes missing. So Enola's eager to find her mother and avoid being sent to a boarding school where she's going to be under the thumb of a strict headmistress. And so she heads off and she encounters another mystery in the form of a smug, aristocratic teenage boy being pursued by an assassin. And the assassin's played by Bern Gorman, by the way, from The Hour and Torchwood, so he's familiar to genre fans. And as Sherlock would say, the game's afoot. And despite her youth and the charismatic performers around her, Brown goes toe-to-toe with them and basically carries the movie. It's based on the first of a bunch of novels by Nancy Springer. They're called the Enola Holmes Mysteries, collectively. And Enola's an original character inspired by Arthur Conan Doyle's immortal Sherlock Holmes. So this could be the start of a franchise based on the books. And if the quality and charm of this thing is any indication, they should greenlight a sequel. And, you don't have to be a Holmes to figure out that Millie Bobby Brown's future is very bright. Okay, Misbehavior is a light and lively British movie based on the real and impactful incident in 1970 when a group of proto-feminists disrupted the Miss World pageant in London, and they made headlines across the globe and helped to galvanize the women's movement in Great Britain and eventually spawned this movie. There's a message here of female equality and empowerment, and it's still relevant today. We're kind of getting there, but there's still further to go. And in any case, this is a lot of fun with an ace cast headed up by Keira Knightley as a young mother studying for a university degree in history, and Jessie Buckley of the recent cinematic brain twister I'm Thinking of Ending Things, playing a punky radical feminist who recruits Knightley's character into her local women's lib group. To get attention, the women decide to protest the objectification of the Miss World pageant, which is run by one of those grade-A chauvinists, played by Rhys Ifans, always good, and the producer's expedient wife, played by none other than Keely Hawes, worlds away from her role as the mom in The Durrells or the politician in Bodyguard. We also get the superb British actress Gugu Mbatha Raw as Miss Granada, one of the first contestants of color at a Miss World pageant, and playing Bob Hope, a special guest flown in from Hollywood to give the event some star power. Greg Kinnear shows up, and his hope doesn't hold a candle to Dave Thomas's on SCTV, but, he does the job. And all in all, this is predictable, but it's a cheery good time at the movies, even while watching at home. I would have recommended this for the theaters as well. Its heart and its head are in the right place. Directed by Philip Lothorpe and written by Rebecca Frayne and Gabby Chiappi. It was made by women. It features women, and it honors women in their struggle. And, I liked it too. Okay, let's see what we have here. This is kind of a downer. The Artist's Wife. I mean, sometimes an actor's work is so good that it can elevate a script that feels a little warmed over, despite the best intentions of the filmmakers involved. And that's my perspective on The Artist's Wife, a rather muted interpersonal drama. It does feature solid work from Bruce Dern, playing the thankless role of an aging, crotchety, acclaimed American artist. His creativity and mental faculties are on the bit of the decline, and so Dern has a lot to sink his teeth into, but he doesn't have a large part. The main virtue of the movie is a beautiful performance by Lena Olin as the supportive, somewhat younger and long-suffering wife who gave up a promising career as an artist to sublimate herself to her renowned husband. Olin's character, Claire, who's in fact artist Richard Smithson's second wife in the movie, is starting to have a lot of reservations about neglecting her skills as a painter, and these reservations turn into regrets, and meanwhile she's trying to reconnect Richard with his estranged daughter by his first wife, while he can still remember who she is and appreciate the grandson he never got to know. It's a little bit on the soapy side. Hard to see why Claire has stuck it out with the cantankerous Richard so long, but Dern and Julia Rylance, who's Della Street on the new Perry Mason series, she plays the daughter, and especially Olin. I mean, I remember her breakout performance in the 80s in the adaptation of The Unbearable Lightness of Being. I mean, that was smoking hot, and she's still beautiful and talented, and they breathe a little life into this, and she's wonderful. But it isn't quite enough to make The Artist's Wife a must-see. By the way, that's available on Apple TV, Amazon, and Google Play, and Misbehavior is also available on Apple TV, Vudu, and Fandango now. What are you watching, buddy?
Well, I'm about the only thing I'm watching is a thing on HBO Max, which not a lot of people can get. Let me turn my volume up. It's a thing called Raised by Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Which is
sci-fi thing, isn't it, by Mr. Alien himself?
Ridley Scott did 2 of the episodes. You could call it sci-fi, but it's more along the Heinlein Ray Bradbury thing. It's very strange. It's very different. It is an acquired taste, but I happen to be enjoying it. So
So it's pretty brainy stuff, but also pretty engaging in terms of the characters.
Right.
I've watched 1 or 2 episodes. I guess the first couple, the ones you mentioned that Ridley Scott directed, and I thought it was pretty terrific.
Yeah.
By the way, I mentioned the Durrells earlier. I love it. It's like a breath of fresh air. They did 4 seasons. I think you can watch it on Amazon Prime, and that's my TV recommendation about the Durrell family in Corfu in the early 30s. Lawrence Durrell and his littlest brother, terrific writers, and this is charming. It's kind of like
well, like with the Oscars, the theme is playing you off. Tell them where they can find you, Michael.
That's fine. I'm at Twitter at Culture Blaster and on Facebook at Michael Snyder's Culture Blast page. And here.
Okay. And by the way, there's more GABNet coming right up, so stay where you are, okay?